Hey traders, Park here with another update. With two indicators I have on the screen right now, my range indicator, the parabolic range indicator, and the VWAP institutional grade VWAP indicator. So this is the QQQ, and one of the updates that I wanted to show you for the actual institutional VWAP indicator is I'm showing them now the prior VWAP. So I'm going to take this off for a moment and just have the prior, just have the institutional VWAP indicator on. So before, when I initially created the indicator, it just shows you the current VWAPs, and you could cut on and off though the historical values for those VWAPs. So I'm going to show only current VWAPs. I'm going to say no, and it's going to pop up. And now we can actually see these prior VWAPs as well. These small dashed lines are the continuation of these prior VWAPs. On the actual screen, we have the 1 month, the 3 month, the 6 month, and the year VWAP, and I'm showing to you on the Nasdaq. So our 6 month VWAP is the purple line, and this is if when the new year started, this 6 month VWAP right here ended. So this previous VWAP, or the continuation from this VWAP right here, is the 6 months as if it continued on. And you can see QQQ has been hitting this VWAP, or continuous 6 month VWAP right here, and been pushing up or using it as support area. Also, the 600 area is a natural support area as well for the QQQ, or what's it, half dollars and whole numbers as well. But you can also see where the 3 month also was at their support, and now it's acting as some sort of resistance. And now that we have our new year started, we can see the VWAP for the year, the 6 month and the 3 month are the same right now. And you can see where QQQ tried to push up against it, and it actually could not, and it had to actually have resistance here as well. And when we look over, this is where the previous VWAPs really shine, or when these institutional VWAPs really shine right here. So you can see right here, when we had our collapse back here in November, it fell to the 6 months worth of VWAP right here, pushed back above, held the 1 month VWAP right here at the support, pushed back below to the 3 month right here. Even though it hit the 600, it used the 3 month VWAP right here support, and then it pushed from there. But right now the QQQ is struggling, and it's looking real top heavy. So I put the range in. I'm gonna push this back to show on the current VWAP. And now you can see you have your line for your year right here, and you can see those prior VWAPs right there as well. So I'm going to shift it down to a low one, to a 30-day, 15-minute one. And you can see how these prior VWAPs really worked as well. You can see how everything acted as resistance, just like we saw on the higher time frame. And I'm going to go back in there, switch it back to the show all the VWAP, so we can look over the course of days as well. So you can see right here our VWAP days, this aqua color right here, and then you have your prior days VWAP right here, is that other aqua line up here. But these VWAP levels at their support and resistance, or possible support and resistance, and you can see it really held really nicely here when the market broke out, and it broke back above, this current VWAP of our year. But it's also going to show our chart VWAP as well, because on these lower time frames, those higher VWAPs cannot pull that data unless you push it to more than 30 days. Once you push it up to I believe 90 days, everything shifts, and you get a better idea of what's going on. You can see our chart VWAP shifted as well. But for the most part, that's what I wanted to show you, these updates for for the VWAP indicator. Now you have these prior VWAP lines also to go with it. We can shift back to a higher time frame, and we're going to cut those off, and I'm going to pull up the range indicator. So we're going to make that and silence that one, and pull up the range indicator. Parabolic, this is a concept, but it's actually going to be the actual indicator. This is the finished product. You can see you don't have to go back and find any of these different ranges. This automatically finds the ranges for you using the highs and lows from the parabolic ZARs. Right now I have shown only this range. I'm going to say no, and we can see our prior ranges as well. And it found those highs and lows for these different ranges. You can say it didn't find this high right here, but that's where the ZAR started out, and this candle started after the range was created. But these ranges are only broken, or I say they stop plotting only because if a close breaks above those ranges. Here's price breakout, so you can change that to whatever you want to change it to. Whatever you consider what the breakout, whether it be the close or the half the candle, high low close divided by 3, and you can use those as your matrices for your actual breakout for these different ranges. But right now we can see that we've been trading in this range since November. We've gone nowhere since November, and we're constantly testing this this midpoint of this range right here, and these Fibonacci levels. So my thoughts are, even though I don't think we were green on it today. I think I have this shifted to BSP. So we'll just do we'll do close to close. So it actually is a red candle, but it's showing the buyers was in control of this candle just because of the close. Anyway, this is the range indicator, and the other feature that I cut off on here was those VWAPs, the VWAPs that come with the actual range. And you can see right here that this dash line is your prior range or prior VWAP, and the solid line is the current VWAP, and it's done from the break of the range, or it starts from the break of the range. From here, you can see we had a breakdown low, and then you can see the new VWAP was created, but this continuous dash line was started here from the previous VWAP. And you can see where it acted as support and resistance as well. We can push it down to some of the lower levels as well. So we'll push it down to the 15 minute. And we can see that the QQQ basically stayed within the same range and hit these Fibonacci levels as well. And you can see where it created this range here, and then it finally broke down, created this new range, and used this candle as your high and this candle is your low, and it basically just traded sideways for the duration of the day. We can go to one of those other prior breakout days, and you see right here when it broke out pre-market, it continued on, and it uses the VWAP as support, and then from there it just traded sideways until it basically collapsed. I think that was the collapse of NVIDIA, or what's this, the collapse of NVIDIA? Anyway, NVIDIA's earnings. So NVDA, so they had earnings on this day, and then basically collapsed after NVIDIA, so I was right. And NVIDIA did basically the same thing. It collapsed today, or continued downward, I should say, from there. And it tried to bounce from there, ran to this Fibonacci level right here, couldn't do anything, pushed down, found support where it had recently had based here, and then it finally collapsed again, and now it tried to get back above that VWAP, but it couldn't, and now it's just sitting on this Fibonacci level right there. So we can take it down to a lower time frame. Let's take it down to a 5 minute, and you're going to generally see the same thing, and we could take it to 1 minute as well, that this indicator finds those different ranges for you without you doing it, having to do anything. And you can see where it traded. And basically, if you're going to use it as a range indicator, you're going to basically use the range and base your support and resistance and your ins and out from the range or from the VWAP carrying over. And the VWAP can act as a trailing stop loss, possible trailing stop loss if you break VWAP from here. So you got in the break from here, and then it came back to the VWAP. It couldn't hold, and then from there you basically get out of the trade. Or you can use it right here. Once the stock did base, it gave you a range to play off of, broke above the VWAP with good volume. That's why this candle is so bright green. and you could have gotten in either on the break above this one. I would gotten in on this actual candle, especially with the close breaking above this prior high, and then it rode the VWAP from there, and it stayed above the midpoint of the range from there, and then it finally broke out. But this is the update to this indicator. I told you the last video that just wait on the update to it. But you can have where it shows on this range and it only shows this. You can hide the past support and resistance. You can change the Fibonacci levels. This is the accelerator for the parabolic czar that's in there. It actually paints the bars according to the parabolic czar, whether it's in a acceleration mode or not acceleration. Acceleration or it's going to be just positive. You can actually have the czar shown as well. So I'm going to cut those back on. I had them off. And I'm going to silence this one. That'll get rid of that little warning sign. But once the czar actually did flip, you got these green bars and it actually flipped again. But the process of creating the ranges, it takes a break above the range for it to actually be broken. Instead of the actual czar, parabolic czar being broken. And this is this indicator. We can go look at a couple of different stocks. This was NVIDIA. We can look at on Apple, and I'm going to take it up to a higher time frame. One of the things I found real useful was looking at it on a 4-hour time frame. You can look at Apple as well. You can see how this indicator worked out and basically create the range here, and Apple but just basically fill out from there. Same situation here. You can have these long ranges as well. Especially the longest one I think I found was on Google. G. It's on Google. I think it was on a 15-minute, but if you shift it over to a 4-hour, let's do 90-day 4-hour, and something just went wrong. Let's push it back down to 30-day. But this is 4 hours worth of range of the range indicator. You can see that Google basically pushed above, didn't even hit this Fibonacci level up here, and basically came back down and hit the what is this? The previous day's range. Previous range, this purple line right here. We can take it up to a higher time frame. We'll take it up to a 3-year. And you can see where Google is basically trading within this last range right here. It broke down below that VWAP, tried to push back above, and then it sits on this previous VWAP line right here. And then it basically collapsed from there. Didn't break this range low, found support in that same area, tried to push back above, hit the previous range, then break, still have not broken the parabolic czar, so it's still in a bearish state according to the parabolic czar. But these are different ranges that the parabolic czar range concept indicator found. And let me shift it down to only this range, and it looks a lot cleaner just looking at it like this. And you see that's Google. We'll just go through the Netflix. Netflix spiked up, but you can see it. We need to have the previous range on. So, and it found some resistance right here, but then it pushed up, and you can see right now it's pushing up now. I really see Netflix going to 100 next week. At least that's what I believe. It's probably going to, when it does go to 100, it's probably going to find resistance right there. Peel back. I don't think it's going to go below 94 or 95. Right now it's at 96.24. Let's go down to. So this is your 15-minute range. It looks kind of crazy because it's basing off of that. This huge after hours move right there, and basically Netflix. So I'm going to stop coloring these bars just because it's not as reliable. And I'm going to go back to my, I'm going to cut this back on. And this is basically what Netflix did. Even though it showed the parabolic czar was in a bearish state, it finally pushed up into a bullish state right here. If you want to wait that long, I probably would have gotten in it here because it was like a clean break above VWAP, while all these are just, that wasn't a real clean break above VWAP. These were all touches right here, and then it finally found its footing and finally broke above. And right after hours, just trading in this range right here. We can push it to a 15-minute, and it's probably going to be trading in that same range, and you can see where it finally broke above there. While on the 15-minute, it gave you this move right here, and it pushed it into a bullish state, and this is the same little area where I said I probably would have got in, would have been on this bar. But let's see. I actually did play some options, or I am in some options. I bought 5 15, and I'm up with 172, and I bought $10,000 worth of Netflix, expecting a pullback, so I can buy more. And them options, I think they close next Friday. But we can go into Apple. I think I already showed Apple. Apple fell. What was the other magnificent? Tesla, TSLA. Another magnificent 7. We can go to. This is the range that we are currently in on Tesla. I'm gonna take those parabolic czars off. Let me take those off, and here's your range indicator right here, and we can see right here that we came back to this previous VWAP right here, and then finally just pushed back below. I'm gonna get rid of the VWAP on here, and I'm going to use the institutional VWAP indicator, anchor VWAPs, just to get a better idea of where Tesla actually is. So it's right now it's sitting on our 6-month previous VWAP line right here. These dashed lines right here represents the previous 6-month VWAP indicator after it ended for the year. Let's see where this is our previous year's VWAP, and our previous 3-month VWAP right here. This yellow line is going across here. I guess you could say it act as resistance, but that's Tesla. We did Google, Apple, Tesla, Nvidia, Netflix, AVGO, Broadcom. Oh, they got earnings on the 4th. Hopefully their earnings are good. But anyway, this is Broadcom, and we can see this is our previous year's VWAP right here. It's trading below its monthly VWAP. It's trading below its previous 6-month VWAP. It's trading below its previous 3-month VWAP VMAP indicator as well. So Broadcom isn't looking very good, but it's dropping. So hopefully it finds support here. But we'll know, I guess, next week about its earnings, if it's going to be good or not. One of the other better stocks I did play, AOI, this morning. It had good news. I think it had earnings as well. I was able to play for a little bit. I didn't stay in it. I should have held those options I had. I actually believe I made more than that. I don't know why it's not showing everything. Probably because I got in the options too early. But I got in the options on this one, and it's continually going. It's still going up. I watched. If you're a fan of Benzinga, I was watching them. I was in the room with Ron at 13, and I was predicting it was going to go up to 80. But I sold my options, I believe, on this candle or this candle. No, it had to be on this candle right here. Sold my last option. We can actually just go look at the option. Let's see. this was the option. Dang, he went up to $4. I sold way too early. Show trades, apply. There we go. So I guess that's what I did, man. I bought 2 options at 70, expecting it to go to 80. I sold one at 0.90 cent. So 20 cent gain, then sold the other one $2. Let's go off of that. But these are some of the trades. Somebody asked, did I actually trade? Yeah, I actually trade. I don't just make indicators, but I create the indicators because I was tired of losing. I was looking for a holy grail or looking for something perfect. I really didn't mean for this video to be this long, but this is going to be the end of the video. I just wanted to show you, demonstrate the features of the different indicator. We can go through XLV. It pushed up this today as well. It's still trading in a range, but it pushed up, I want to say back here, what is it, in September. So I'm going to take the anchor VWAPs. I'm going to show all of them. And we can see for the whole, we can see the whole thing. I say a better picture of what was going on back here. Our red dotted line is our year VWAP. So that'll been a year VWAP for 2025. This dashed line right here, because it would have been 2024 year VWAP. Previous VWAP. It found support right there after it pushed up on this quarter in October. And then from there, just pushed up from there. And you can see how I just really just use these different VWAPs to create you a map. XLP was the other one. And you can see from here, it's still pushing up. It broke out this range here and just basically just kept on going from there. It never did test any of these other VWAPs here, but you can see everything is just basically messy over here. Then it finally broke out of that range, and it's just been pushing up ever since. I didn't play this one. I believe this is Staples. I played Coke, and I played Walmart. I just bought options on these, and I can't remember how much I made. A couple $100 on Walmart, and a couple $100 on Coke as well, but obviously I sold too early. I bought the $80 calls. I don't know when the expiration date was, but I played Coke and I played Walmart. Those were the biggest ones, I think, in XLP. Yeah, Walmart, then you got Costco. Coke is somewhere in there. There we go. I passed it. So Coke is the fourth. So a lot of times, if you see a sector breaking out, hey, just go look and see what's the biggest ones in there, and that's what's really driving that move in that ATL. So those are my plays. XLC is the communications. It broke out today. It broke out today. I didn't see this. So the communication ETF is breaking out. So it's doing better than XLK. So it had a breakout today. From the VWAPs, it found support on the previous 6 month VWAP, and it broke out away from the previous 3 month VWAP here, and then broke above the monthly VWAP and the yearly VWAP, and it broke out. XLK. It's still trading in this range. So it looks pretty messy now that I have all the VWAPs and everything cut on, because I wanted to see some of the history and everything, especially from last year. But we can always just clean it up. Show on this range. Show on the current VWAPs. So just to clean it up, especially with looking at this. So this is where the year started off. We were above VWAP. We were using a previous 3 month, this yellow line here, VWAP. and now we're trading down there. We this purple line right here represents our previous range. What was it, high or low? Let's see, previous range. Gotta be the high. I'm not seeing it low. Probably have to cut it back on because it could be being covered up by the yellow line. But right now it's just hanging on. But it crossed below again our 6 month VWAP right here, and it's actually sitting right there. XLF. If you stuck with me this long, I appreciate it. We can go to the scanner. This is the bonus. Let's see. So the bonus is this. I'm gonna push to the seasonality. We're gonna look for bullet stocks in with the seasonal pattern for the March. We're gonna go, and the close has to be greater than the open for the month. So they have to be, the close has to be greater than the open for the month of February, and the close has to be greater than the monthly. The yearly VWAP. This year's VWAP. So we're gonna press scan. And these are the stocks that it came up with. And we're going to, I don't know why this thing did that. Let's push this over. Because I'm trying to look at the month of March. So these are 70% average. I think I put in a 70% of the time. They're up for the month of March. They have to have at least 5 years worth of data, and these all have 10 years worth of data, so that's even better. Let's see if I can sort them. So these are gonna be the best one. AGI, that's gold. That's already up. AGI. So it's already above the month. So it's above this year's VWAP. It's breaking out. It's a gold trade. Let's see. It's up 10% of the time. One of the other ways we could secure or look at this is going to be the seasonality. I'll look ahead. Just put that on. And this just gives an idea of the seasonality. Usually it's up for the month of February 1.52%. That's represented by this blue line from the open. But it's up nearly 50% for the month of February from its open. That's wow. Let's find out. I'm gonna scroll down this list so you can see all of these. If you made it to the end of this video, you can actually go look at some of these different stocks yourself, and you can see those percentages right there. Let me slow down so you can see some of those percentages that they're up. I even do one better. I do 2,000. It's gonna tell me, hey, it's gonna use up a lot of data. Let's look at it. It's probably gonna give me an error, but this is what it gave me. You can pause the video. You can look at the different stocks, but it's over 2,000. Well, I had it show that, but it's not 2,000 stocks here. And plus, I had these other parameters. So all these stocks are gonna be above $10, and I'm gonna just scroll down because I know you don't want to hear me click that mouse. T-Mobile. But this is just these some of the other ones are not doing good anyway. But these stocks right here, they're on the seasonality, they're good. They were their close is greater than they're open for the month of February, but they also do good for the month of March. KGC is another gold play. I think I played that before. It's pushing above, and it's usually down for the month of February, but it's up, represented by this blue line right here. The white line is just open for the month, but it's pushing up. But this is not going to be the end of the video. I find myself rambling on, but this is the update for the seasonality indicator. These lines represents the 52-week high, and the ones down below, these red lines represents the 52-week low. This orange line is the midpoint between it, and then the clouds represents the Fibonacci levels. We can go look at one more thing, or we'll say QQQ. And it's usually up for the month of February, but it was actually down. It's below its month open, but it should have been up. Expected to be up 1.2%, but it's usually it's on 33. On the wrong thing. I only got on 3 years. I should have had on 10 years. But anyway, you can see how the lines and everything adjusted according to this new percentage right there. SPY, same situation. In my honest opinion, what I've been seeing these last few years, I think everything's going to go down for these 2 months, then reverberate in April like it's been doing. At least that's my honest opinion. But this is going to be the end of the video. I thank you guys once again for taking the time to listen to what I have to say. I hope you're helpful. I wish you the best. God bless.